Greetings, class. My name is Travis Barber, and my topic for this semester will be religion in public schools. The issue of religion in public schools has been going on for decades. Some folks look to keep religious expression in public schools, while others seek separation between church and state. As our textbook stated, today, schools and churches do not view each other as collaborative partners, but on many occasions, the respective institutions view each other as adversaries, or at least as separate entities with no common ground or common purpose. The Constitution ensures religious freedom while also vowing to keep church and state separate. It claims to be neutral in matters of religion and never to make a law that favors or diminishes one particular faith. It's gotten to the point where some teachers are afraid to even mention topics like creationism or intelligent design for fear that it will cause controversy. Should religion be welcome in public schools, which are state institutions? The debate is ongoing, as the Constitution seemingly encourages both sides. Before we dive in, I'll provide you with a little bit of history. Thomas Jefferson coined the phrase wall of separation and used it to describe the divide between church and state. He was looking to keep the government from adopting a national religion. It seems that Jefferson's speech spoke to the protection of religious freedom. Interpretation of that speech and the Constitution at the time has led some judges in the Supreme Court to try removing religion from public schools entirely. The ruling of Justice Black in Everson v. Board of Education in 1947 influenced many cases concerning education and religion that came after it. Justice Black interpreted the First Amendment as complete separation between the state and religion. Since that landmark case, there have been many similar cases in which religion has been further extracted from public schools. The Supreme Court has attempted to define which religious acts are acceptable, further complicating matters. I'll start us off with a few definitions. First, we have the Establishment Clause, which is a part of the First Amendment claiming that Congress will not make laws in favor of a religious establishment, be it a church, mosque, temple, etc. Next, we have the Free Exercise Clause, in addition to the First Amendment that follows the Establishment Clause, conveying that Congress will also not make laws favoring one religion as opposed to another. All faiths are to be viewed equally by Congress. Next up, we have the Lemon Test, the test used by the Supreme Court to gauge whether a legislative act encourages religion or not. Finally, we have the Endorsement Test, sometimes used updates to the Lemon Test that further measures whether an act of government is endorsing religion. Finally, this subject really breaks down into two arguments. First off is the union of church and state. For one, the Constitution vows religious freedom. America, because of the Revolutionary War, was essentially built on that ideal. 3. The founders of our nation assumed that religion would have a vital place in the private and public lives of America. As you can see, that's why they made it a point to accommodate religion in the Constitution. And 4. It allows people of all faiths to practice freely. The second party is looking for a separation between church and state. The Constitution suggests that Congress will not favor one religion, and separation could help to avoid that. Secondly, separation doesn't isolate the non-believers. Third, religious belief or non-belief should be irrelevant to one's ability to participate fully in school. Finally, in my research, I'll be looking to discover how educators and members of the community perceive the religion issue as it stands. What do they feel are the pros, the cons? How do they feel it could be improved going forward? Where is all of this headed? Secondly, whether people are upset with the ambiguity of the Constitution or the way the rules are enforced. Instead of church and state being upset with one another, there seem to be internal issues on both sides. Could be time for reflection. Third, how educators prepare for conflicts of religion. Are educators, be it administrators, teachers, etc., equipped to handle issues such a volatile topic? When it comes to teachers, not all of them will be able to avoid religion. Are science instructors advised I wonder, when America separated from Great Britain, the primary goal was to end religious conflict. And yet, it's so hard to avoid religion in America. Every piece of American currency features the phrase "In God We Trust." So, where does the non-believer fit into everything? At times, we forget about the people, students specifically, that don't practice religion and are thrust into a culture where others value religion over everything. There are those that don't want to pray before sporting events or sing "God Bless America." How do we accommodate those students? Finally, can all faiths be treated equally? I've read about Muslim students unable to participate in PE because their hijab wasn't allowed at school. Hijab is the torso head cover that you will see many Muslim women wearing in public. My research has also led me to another instance where dreadlocks weren't allowed at school, even though they were worn for religious reasons. Faith is expressed differently by each group. There will be difficulties whether it is embraced at school or not. These are my research questions. How do members of the community view what can and cannot be said concerning religion in a school setting? How do teachers' interpretations of the Constitution affect how they communicate with students? How are educators prepared to handle issues of religion in school? Okay, class, before I let you go, I want you all to think about how much religion is sewn into the fabric of our country. Then ask yourself, can church and state really be separated? Your homework is to consider that question, and I'll have more for you next time we meet. Take care.